Coach, we'll start with an opening comment from you, and then we'll entertain questions.
Yeah, just waking up this morning, just grateful that had an opportunity to be with this team. And certainly I would say that, everything that came with the season and all the hard work was worth it. It was worth it. And I'm proud of these guys. And again, they will go down in history and cement themselves as champions. And I said it before that there's been some great teams in Ohio State history, 9 who are national champs, but in the last, I think it's 53 years, up until this game, there's only been 2 who have been national champs, and this is the 3rd right here. And, we're going to take some time to celebrate, enjoy it, because these guys deserve it.
We'll start over here with our first question on our left in the front row.
Hi, Joe Nugent, NBC4 Columbus. Congratulations to all 3 of you. For Will and for Cody, Will first. Coach talked about telling the story of this team, but it would only happen if you won. What do you feel like the story of this team should be?
I feel like the story kind of speaks for itself a little bit, every player on this team, especially the seniors that were here for 3-4 years, decided to come back. Each and every single one of those guys have a story. We collectively, get to tell this story of this season, because there were ups and downs, there were trials and tribulations, and, ultimately we were able to overcome them and win the big one at the end. When we got into this thing, Coach Day, I think really going into the Cotton Bowl was talking about, our story's written, but it needs to be told, and it's, we have some unbelievable individual stories and then as a team. So I'm just so glad that we were able to get it done. And, years down the line, we can tell this story, about this team. And there's just too many unbelievable guys and unbelievable, people in this building, that need their stories told.
Cody?
Yeah, I would just echo that. The humility and the resilience of not only the seniors but just everyone on our team. People deciding to come back for another year when they could have made all the money in the NFL and be first round picks, and they came back for the love of the brotherhood and the appreciation for the culture and all their teammates. And I think that story is about determination, resilience, humility, just thankfulness, faithfulness, just everything that good that comes out of, a team game and a team sport. I think our team has showed it this year.
And I'll just add that, I think that, our team can serve as a story for others. What makes Ohio State great is its fan base. And, for all those fans that are out there that, are going through difficult times in their lives, to hang in there and fight the way that our players did this season, I hope it serves as an inspiration, because that's exactly what happened here. And there was a point in the season where, a lot of people counted us out, but we kept fighting and overcame those odds, because that's what life's about. And there was life lessons learned here. And I hope maybe there's just a couple people out there that maybe are going through a difficult time that just keep fighting and keep swinging, and they'll get the thing turned.
Stay over here on our left in the front row.
Coach Day, I was just wondering, the emotions, obviously, I'm sure you're going through. One, how much, the time frame that you allow to yourself to enjoy this, and how does this compare to the emotions you felt after the Michigan game, when I'm sure it just seemed like the world was crumbling around you and everybody you knew and held close to you?
Yeah, if you define your happiness by the results, then yeah, you can find yourself in focusing on those things. I don't. I'm just as proud of this team no matter what happened. But now the best thing is, again, you get to hear about these guys for the history of college football, and these guys get to go back to the Woody and put their arm around their wife and their kids and say, look what Dad did. And to me, that's all that matters, because that's why you get into coaching. It isn't to hoist trophies or make big contracts or anything like that. The reason you get into coaching is to help young men reach their dreams and goals, period. At least that's what I and our staff are in this thing for. So when that's your focus, then you wake up and you realize that as awful as some things can happen and during the season, you look at those as opportunities, and now you get to tell an unbelievable story behind it, and that's exactly what life is all about. And just the feeling of seeing our guys and the elation in the locker room, the euphoria, everything about it, makes it all worth it. But again, that's what life's all about, and nothing great was ever achieved without going through adversity along the way. And that's why that's what makes this team special. And not only that, I think it's easy to say, or not easy to say, I guess, but it can be argued that this was the best run in the history of college football. To go play at home against Tennessee was a very, very good team. Then go to Oregon, the number one team in the country, and win that game at the Rose Bowl the way we did. And then beat Texas in Texas, which that was a road game. I don't care what anybody says. That was a road game. It was a very difficult game. And then play a really good Notre Dame team like this. I think in the history of college football, I don't think there's been, top 5 wins like that. And so all things that, we're very proud of.
We're going to come over here to our right in the third row.
Ryan, with all of the stories, I'm guessing, what's an under-the-radar story that you would like to be told about this?
Well, I think if you just pick one, you'll be taken away from somebody else. I think that's why, like Donovan Jackson. I mean, I could talk about him for 45 minutes. I mean, what he did this past year and the unselfishness and the play. I mean, he went from guard to tackle and became one of the best tackles in the country. And he was going to the NFL, and then at the last second decided he wanted to come back and play. Lathan Ransom. I mean, I could talk forever about Lathan Ransom. The fact that, the last time he was at the Rose Bowl was when he broke his leg. And to have the courage to go play the way he did in that Rose Bowl at Oregon, and the inspiration that he's had, these guys will tell you, I mean, you talk about a guy who just was like obsessed with winning this season, Lathan Ransom. And you can just keep going through, like Ty Hamilton. You talk about one of the most unselfish, unsung heroes on this team. All he does is work. He comes in and works every single day. That's all he does. He just works, right? I mean, that's Ty Hamilton. And so you can go through, and all these stories need to be told now. They need to be heard, and there's so many of them. And hopefully, over the next few months, we can continue to talk about these stories about these guys. A guy like Tyleik Williams. I mean, probably one of the more dominant players in college football this season. And where he came when he first got to Ohio State. It was during the COVID run, and we were on the bus driving over to the spring game, and he was sitting next to me. He said, "Man, I can't wait to get over to the stadium." I said, "Yeah, it's gonna be fun." He goes, "Man, I just can't wait to see it." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I've never seen the stadium before." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "During the recruiting process, he never even visited the school." There's a good portion of the guys that are on our team that year in that recruiting class that actually didn't visit Ohio State until they got here to check in to the dorm. So just, again, we can go on for a while. I mean, that's not for right now, but I'm just glad their stories will be heard, and Buckeye fans will be able to enjoy those stories for a long time to come.
I'm going to come right over here on the aisle.
Adam King, 10 TV. I know it's been a long night. Have you guys had a chance to sleep, and how has the celebration been for all of you?
You can talk to these guys about that.
Cody, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I got a good 2-3 hours, but I think the greatest moments of my career at Ohio State has just been around my teammates. The wins are all great, but I'm never gonna forget my teammates. Like all the moments we shared in the locker rooms and in weight training and in the cafeteria. Just you create so many unbreakable bonds through this journey and through these years that I'm so happy to be a part of this team. And like he said, all the stories that can be told. Like every single person on this team's got a story, and everyone's been so resilient and so unselfish, and has given all they can. And I think when we started this playoff, there was just something different about when we all came together. It was just like you felt the energy, you felt the togetherness of the team, and I like some of those moments that I felt during this playoff. I mean, I'll never forget because it changed the course of my life and the course of this team, and I'm just so thankful I got to go through it with these guys.
Will?
Yeah, sleep is for the weak, so we'll sleep on the plane. But man, no, we want to enjoy this one and celebrate it accordingly. With our teammates, man. I think we got back to the hotel and really just hung out with each other, man, and that was awesome. Just getting to share some fellowship with the guys, man, and everyone that really had a hand in this season, and I'm excited because now we get to go home to Columbus and do the same thing, man, and just enjoy some time with our brothers, man, for the last time because this was our last game together, and it's kind of sad to think about, honestly, when I sit back and think that I'm not going to get the chance to wear a Buckeye uniform again. I'm not going to get to wear the scarlet and gray again. It's a little bittersweet, but I'm just so thankful that we were able to end it the right way.
Come down here on our left, second row.
Yeah, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row. Will, when you tell the story of the night, where will the golf cart incident go in that? And second of all, to be a national championship quarterback at Ohio State, a guy who was only here for 1 year, like when that hits your ears, like what does that mean to you?
Yeah, man, it means obviously the golf cart incident was pretty funny. Coach Day, I hope you're all right. He got jolted a little bit, but
Send medical bills to the CFP.
But no, man, it's humbling. And coming to Ohio State, obviously the expectation and the goal is, in the end to win a national championship. And the fact that we're sitting here today as national champions is it's surreal, man. And you gotta really just take it in and thank God for the opportunity to be here and for the opportunity to be on the stage with these guys that I love. And we're gonna be brothers for the rest of our lives because of this. We are bonded for life. It's more than blood now, man. We got rings to show for it. And we're gonna be able to get together and tell this story of this team for years to come. And I'm just so blessed that I was able to come here and be a part of something like this.
We're going to swing over here to our right, front row.
Ryan, Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports. There's a lot of pros playing college football, but Jeremiah's a pro who was a freshman, 19 years old, and has to play 2 more years. What does his future look like? How does he get better without, damaging what he is right now?
Yeah, he's obviously a special talent, and I think that we had a plan coming in. I think Brian Hartline's done an unbelievable job throughout the recruiting process and his family of putting that plan in action. And I think what we envisioned this season came true, but maybe even a little bit more. For him to be able to sustain 16 games of play the way he did was pretty remarkable for a freshman. He needs some rest. That body needs some rest. He needs to get away from football for a while because he really grinded throughout the season. I'm really proud of what he did. But there's still parts of his game that he can improve, and he'll tell you that. And we'll put that plan together in the off season and work through those things. But as it's clear to see, like we said from the jump, he is a generational talent. He's a special player, but he's a great person. And just to see the way he came up clutch in that game, but also in some of the other games, and make no mistake about it. I mean, early in the game, they were doing everything they could to take him away. And you have to be unselfish in those moments to say, we just got to go win this game. And his body language and energy couldn't have been any better. So, what a season for such a young player who we all know is special. But we'll put that plan together in the offseason and then put it back to work.
Come over here to the aisle on our left.
Austin Ward, the podcast. Ryan, I think last night the celebration is probably a little bit of a blur, but I wonder how much the moment with Carmen is burned into your brain with the family and the trophy. And then Cody and Will, who's the first person that you wanted to seek out to celebrate with when the game hit 0 there?
Yeah. I think a couple people asked me, if you win the game, what will your reaction be? And, for me, I couldn't go there, didn't know what this week that we're about to go into even entailed, in celebrations or anything, because for me, I couldn't go there. I just wanted this so much for these players. And so it was just like focused on like right now. And these guys will tell you, like, I just obsessed with like, all right, how do we get better today? How do we do a good job with this walkthrough? How do we do a good job with today, this meeting, this practice to get ourselves prepared for the game? And then, once we win the whole thing, we'll figure out what's next. That's kind of where we're at right now. But yeah, there was a mix of emotions there. But at the end of the day, to be there with your family. And when you talk about family, you have your wife and kids who, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to make this run that I went, especially just the last month and a half, just what they provided for me in terms of strength. I just can't say enough, especially my wife and kid. I mean, they've been unbelievable. But then when you talk about family, you're talking about our team, and this has become family. And so every team is together for a while, but then when the playoffs started, we went on this like special run, and we were with each other like 24/7 for the last month and a half. And we were spending more time together than we were our own families. And it's like a big family. And just to see those guys enjoying and smiling and have something to show for all the work that they put in, it was a mix of emotions, but I couldn't be any happier for these guys.
We're going to come down here on our right, second row.
Ryan, I know you want to talk about the team, so Will and Cody, maybe you can help make him answer this one. Paul Brown, Woody Hayes, Jim Tressel, Urban Meyer, Ryan Day. Those are the 5 Ohio State coaches who have won national titles. How does it feel to have your name on that list?
Well, it's an honor. It's an honor to be the head coach at Ohio State, and I'd probably say that this job is not for everybody. And every year, I've learned more about myself than I thought going into the season, and a big part of it are these players, and I shared that with the guys this season. And I felt like we were knocking on the door several times leading up to this game. You think about the 19 team, you think about the 20 team. Every year I felt like we were close, but we couldn't get through. And this team was different. This team was special. And the message was to leave no doubt. Don't leave it to one play. Don't leave it to one call. Don't leave it in the hands of somebody else. Don't do that. And, I felt like the throw and catch there to Jeremiah at the end kind of was like, all right, we're leaving no doubt with this thing. And, to answer your question about the other part of it, I don't know. I just know that Ohio State's a special place. It's an honor to be here, an honor to be around some of those names that you just said, because, when you hear some of those names like that, they're some of the best coaches in the history of the game. And but the only way you do that is with great players, great people, and obviously this is a great place.
Over here on our left side aisle in the back.
Michael Cohen from Fox Sports. Ryan, you've never shied away from talking about the pressure that comes with the position that you have and the expectation that essentially you have to win every game you coach at Ohio State. So when the buzzer goes off last night, where on like the spectrum from relief to happiness did you actually land?
Yeah, it was. I guess both. I don't know if it's a spectrum. All of the above. Yeah, all of the above. There's a mix of emotions there. It's hard to really put into words. But yeah, you just want to, let out a scream. I threw my headset. I don't know where that came from. I look back and I forgot I even did that. I don't know what that reaction was, but it was just, I guess whatever you're talking about, jubilation, relief, but more importantly, happiness for these guys. Happy. When you say happy for your family, this is the family right here. This is it. But also for my wife and kids. I think for all of these guys now, they can have some peace. And to me, that's important.
We're going to come over to the right-hand side on the aisles.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch. For Ryan, with winning the national championship means your staff is likely to be in demand. And you've made changes in the past, seen changes in the past. What's your level of confidence in having continuity with your staff, and including Jim Knowles?
I just think there should be great opportunity for all these guys, and we'll work hard to make sure that they have opportunity here at Ohio State. But if they have opportunities to go other places and do other things, then that's part of the reward of winning a championship. And we'll put this next group of guys together and figure it out, because these guys deserve opportunity for what they've done. This coaching staff has done an unbelievable job, and there's a lot of guys in different positions, and whether it's promotions or whatever it might be, they deserve those things. And I'll start quickly with the coordinators. Jim, I think he's the best defensive coordinator in the country. Does an unbelievable job. Did an unbelievable job throughout the season. His staff, Tim and Larry. I mean, again, we could talk about James, McArary, and then their entire staff. Unbelievable. The game plan, the scheme, but then just coaching up the confidence, and then on offense with Chip, what he's meant to me and being able to be more present with the entire team, and Justin Fry, what he's been through this year, losing Seth and Josh, and being able to pull this together. I mean, the offensive line was excellent last night. Brian Hartline is the best in the business of what he does. I mean, we all know that, but I don't take it for granted. And Keenan Bailey works his tail off. He's a great young coach. Carlos Laughlin, really has got those running backs in a big way, but playing very, very physical, very hard. Billy Fessler did a great job this season, stepping in a big way and helping that room out. And so as you go through, all these different guys, the number one thing to me was loyalty throughout the season. These guys were loyal. And there's a lot of guys now on our staff that, have, analyst roles, GA roles, but they all stuck together. And so, after you win something like this, there's opportunity, and, we're going to fight like heck to keep these guys the best we can. But when opportunity knocks and guys have opportunities, then they deserve to do that for their families, if that's what's best for their families. And there's no better place than Ohio State. So I know there'll be a lot of reasons for them to stay, but we'll figure that as we move forward.
We're going to stay back on the aisle where we were.
Hey there, Dave Holmes, ABC 6, Fox 28 in Columbus. Ryan, you talk all the time about ignoring the outside noise, but sometimes in Columbus it's so deafening that you can't. I'm curious, was there ever a moment that you struggled with self-doubt in the last 6 weeks? And Cody and Will, it's clear he never lost the locker room. You guys always stood by him. I'm curious, what was it about your head coach that you guys knew he was the guy to get you on that podium?
Let's start with Will.
Man, first and foremost, I owe, so much to this guy sitting right next to me. He gave me a chance here, and he bet on me, and I'm forever indebted to him for that. And, one of, probably the best coach I've ever been around. I've never seen someone work a game like Coach Day does. He thinks of every single possible scenario that could go on every single play. I've never been coached this hard. I knew I was going to get coached hard, and that's what I needed. I needed that. And, if it weren't for me coming here to Ohio State and getting developed by Coach Day and Coach Kelly and Billy Fessler and Riley and all the guys in that room, man, I really wouldn't be the player that I am right now. And I think that, coming here was just an unbelievable opportunity for me. And Coach Day, we all knew it. None of us ever doubted for a second that he was the right guy to lead this team. And we stuck together, and we said we want to do it for each other. We want to do it for our coach, and let's do this thing, man. And I'm really glad that we were able to finish it the right way.
Cody?
Yeah, no, I agree with Will. No one ever on our team ever lost any type of faith. We obviously there's noise out all over the world, but we know what happens here within the Woody. And I'll just say there are times that you get in early to the Woody, and you think you're getting work done, and you go and walk past the head coach office, and he's already there. He's been watching film. His eyes are bloodshot. He puts that extra time in that no one in the world is really putting in. And so, when I see stuff like that, there's no one I'd rather trust than Coach Day, and I have a wholehearted belief that he is always and will be the best coach that I've ever been a part of. The story of our entire team is all because of we all trusted in the leadership of Coach Day, and I mean, I can't say enough good things about him because I mean he led us all the way, and all the stuff he's been through. He talks about he's going to talk about self-doubt, but like no one ever doubted him on our team. I mean, within the Woody, it was always the Woody versus the world. So we'll stand by that.
Yeah, some people might have doubted, but we didn't, and I didn't. I knew it all along, and a lot of things get said and a lot of things get written, but that never affected us. It never flinched, and these guys never flinched. They never frayed at all. They stuck together. It actually brought them together more, and yeah, this is a special group of guys, and just the loyalty, and that's it. That's it. I always, wanted to be the hardest working guy in the building as the head coach and lead that way, and then, care and love these guys the best I possibly could and focus on the process, not the results, and, weather some storms along the way and then go from there. But that's it. And yeah, there's nobody in that Woody that really ever doubted each other, and we just kept pushing, and now you're seeing the results of that.
Over here on our aisle.
Paris McGee Jr., Yardbarker. Coach Day, what would you say was the difference maker between this team and previous teams that you have coached in the past? You have had a number of talented guys that came through your program, but it was this team that won the national championship title with arguably the greatest run in college football history. So as a head coach, what would you say was the difference maker between this team and those previous teams?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's experience. Yeah. This is an experienced team. They played a lot of football. And when you look at the maturity of our team, we were able to physically sustain 16 games, mentally sustain 16 games, and then emotionally sustain 16 games. And I think in the end, that was the difference.
We're going to go right down here to the front.
Tim May, LettermanRow.com. For Will, few people get that feeling to just sit back there and rock and throw a ball in a clutch moment like you did last night, to drop the dime, as I like to say, as you well know. But you came here with the idea of improving yourself for the NFL draft also. I mean, you talked about that last spring and stuff. And then for Coach Day to follow up on that, coming back to my question of Will, does he think he's done that? But you used to help pick quarterbacks for the NFL, Coach Day. Where do you rate this guy now?
My man Tim, man, I appreciate you, man. You're the man, dude. You're the man. No, man, I coming here to Ohio State, I felt like going into last year, coming into this year, really, I didn't feel like I was in, the best place I felt like I could put myself in the draft. And I felt like, I wanted another shot at it. And I felt like, coming here to Ohio State was the best opportunity I had to better my chances, at the next level. And I'm to be honest with you, I'm not thinking about that right now. I am just so ecstatic that we won this thing. We're able to do it with my brothers. We'll worry about that when it comes up probably in the next week or so. But I've been developed here like I've never been developed before. I've been pushed. I've been coached. I've been nitpicked. To the point where I've gotten so much better here. And that's a credit to Coach Day and Coach Kelly, again, Billy Fessler, all these guys for investing a lot of time into me. And, we'll worry about the NFL, whenever that comes up. But I'm I'm so glad we got this one done. Yeah, it's when you tee up the driver and, it feels real nice, just 300 down the middle. No, I'm just kidding. But that was when we had drawn up for, a third and extra long call. We knew they were going to potentially play us a man and give us a shot over the top. And, JJ did a great job of attacking his leverage and stacking them. And, all I had to do was give 4 a chance and let 4 be 4.
Yeah, but that didn't just happen. There was a lot of time spent to get to that point. And Will really put it in. We had quarterback school and all these different things, man, and 42 yards on a red line to the field and the footwork that has to go with that. It didn't just happen. And when Will's feet are right, he is as good as anybody I've been around. His accuracy, his ability to see, the way he commands the team, his work he puts in. I think the thing that nobody's probably going to understand how much credit he deserves is how much he can take on. I don't think there was, to say 90% of the calls that went in the other day had 2 or 3 plays into it. So he's calling a play or 2 in the huddle and then checking the play at the line of scrimmage. That's NFL material right there. That's special. And so whichever organization, decides to draft Will is going to get like a pro day one walking in the door.
Last question on our right-hand side.
Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch. I almost hesitate to ask this question because you haven't given any thought to it, but, in 9 months, you're going to start this up again. You've got all these guys leaving, but you've got a talented group coming back. What can you say about next year's team? And maybe not feeling the immense pressure that you had this year. Expectations won't be quite as high, although they're always high at Ohio State.
Yeah, try losing the first game and see how that goes at Ohio State. And we'll see about that. I think we have a great group coming back, but I think what these guys have had an opportunity to do, and we had 145 guys on a team, and a percentage of those guys were newcomers, freshmen, and also some of the transfers that are coming in. And the thing I told them is you have to use this time as an opportunity to learn what it's supposed to look like. And these guys set an amazing example. And I asked the captains in particular, what do you think about bringing these guys onto the team? Because they can be a distraction a little bit. This is a team that's been together. All of a sudden you add 25, 30 new guys to the team. It can be a little bit of a distraction. They said, no, we want these guys around because we want to hand the torch to them so that they understand what the brotherhood's like. They understand what this is supposed to look like. So when we leave, they can take over for that. And we do have a talented group coming back. And so, we'll get back there and try to figure that out. I don't know if spring practice is going to look the way that it usually does. I don't think it can, quite honestly, with the amount of games that these guys have played. But for the young guys, we got to get them going and get them indoctrinated into the program, get the off season going, and then we'll ramp it back up soon.
Congratulations, and thank you for being with us today.
Thanks.